What truly caused Palpatine's ugly, deformed face after Revenge of the Sith? The dark side of the Force does more than just grant its users more abilities and more power more quickly. It corrupts them. It weakens them. Yet, as we know, when Mace Windu deflected Sidious's lightning back onto him, it caused his face to deform and practically melt. However, there was a possibility that this was his real face and the lightning only exposed it. But what is the real answer? Well, like many of my recent videos, this information comes straight from the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, a goldmine of lore that adds surprising depth to characters and events we thought we already knew. Now, before we dive into the heart of the topic, I'd like to share a bit of behind-the-scenes context. Originally, George Lucas intended Palpatine's transformation into the disfigured Dark Lord of the Sith to be a gradual process. And when you look more carefully, this idea does make a lot of sense, as Palpatine already appeared significantly older and more worn down in Attack of the Clones than he did in The Phantom Menace. The idea was that his true form was corrupted by the dark side and that would slowly seep in over time. But as we know, things would not play out this way. Plans change as they often do when filmmaking. And the final result was something far more sudden and shocking, pardon the pun. A dramatic transformation in the middle of a duel that sparked debate for years. Was Palpatine's face always like that, hidden behind a Sith illusion? Or did Mace Windu's lightsaber and his own Force lightning physically alter him? Well, my fellow nerds, I have the answer, and it comes directly from the novel. The quote begins as follows: "Help me, I can't hold on any longer." The yellow glare from Palpatine's eyes spread outward through his flesh. His skin flowed like oil, as though the muscles beneath were burning away, as though even the bones of his skull were softening, bending and bulging, deforming from the heat and pressure of his electric hatred. "He is killing me, Anakin. Please." Mace's blade bent so close to his face that he was choking on the ozone. "Anakin, he is too strong for me." This description is vivid and grotesque. It paints a picture of a man literally boiling from the inside out, consumed by the very hatred he wielded as a weapon. There is no mention of a mask, no shattering of an illusion. Not yet. This transformation, though, is of power, pain, and rage. However, it doesn't end there. After Mace Windu is seemingly killed, we get another passage. Anakin stood just within the office, motionless. Palpatine examined the damage done to his face in a broad, expansive wall mirror. Anakin couldn't tell if his expression might be revulsion, or this was merely the new shape of his features. Palpatine lifted one tentative hand to the misshapen horror that he now saw in the mirror, then simply shrugged, and so the mask becomes the man. He sighed with a hint of melancholy. "I shall miss the face of Palpatine, I think, but for our purpose, the face of Sidious will serve. Yes, it will serve." That line, "so the mask becomes the man," is haunting. It suggests that it is not just a mask falling away, but a new form being forced upon him. But rather than a revelation, this is his true self, twisted both physically and spiritually by years of darkside corruption. Now, this is just part of the full passage, which I definitely intend to cover in more detail in a future video. But even in this excerpt, there's a lot to unpack. What is fascinating is how this actually bridges both major theories. On one hand, yes, his face was physically altered by the intensity of the lightning. On the other hand, it was never really a normal face to begin with. The darkness was always within him, shimmering beneath the surface. The lightning didn't create Sidious. It just stripped away any remains of the mask. Here's another interesting detail. After Palpatine became Emperor and claimed in the Senate that he was scarred and deformed by the Jedi, he would still use unscarred images of himself in public. These can be seen in the holonet, in propaganda, in videos, and even in his attempt to manipulate Ezra Bridger in Star Wars Rebels. So what does this mean? To me, it says that Palpatine continued to play both roles to the galaxy. To many, he was still the kind Chancellor, the grandfatherly figure who only wanted peace and order. But in the shadows, he fully embraced the monstrous, corrupted visage of Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord driven by power, hatred, and dominance. Two faces, one man, and one mission: control. A very interesting passage that confirms many theories that fans have long since had. But anyway, that is the truth behind Palpatine's ugly face. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, it would mean a lot to me if you could like and subscribe, as it would help the channel out a ton. And without my fellow Star Wars nerds, may the Force be with you.